everybody, and welcome. I'm Rick Gold from Montanans Against Nuclear Annihilation, a whole new place for me to be. Anyway, we're going to be showing you some videos about actions that are going on. There's a big action in May 7th to 10th called Mothers Against Nuclear Testing. It's at our nuclear test site. That's America's nuclear test site. And America's nuclear test site is 65 miles north of Las Vegas in Nevada. It's about 200 square miles, and many nuclear bombs have been blown up there. Over 1,000, I guess Greenpeace estimates now. Today with me I have Philomena Ryan. She's going to talk about the indigenous issues and how that developed with our government using Shoshone land there in Nevada.
And I'm actually going to be speaking about indigenous genocide with the Dene, the Navajo, and the traditional Navajo, and the Hobis. And we're talking about Koyaanisqatsi, a world out of balance, and we're definitely out of balance. We knew that. One half of the world's uranium is on Indian land. 1/3 of the world's strippable coal is on Indian land, and much of this is under Hopi Dene land in Arizona. The world's largest strip mine is 103 square miles, and they want to extend into Dene homeland. 1950s, exploitation of Four Corners area, abundant uranium resources, has engendered epidemic rates of lung cancer among the Dene miners and their families. The mines have operated ignoring all laws of regulation, and surface and groundwater has been contaminated. And to save money, shipping coal, a 275-mile illegal coal slurry pipeline pumps over 1.4 billion gallons of scarce, pristine drinking water from a sole source aquifer each year. To use coal from this area, the largest power plant in the United States was built. The air pollution created by that power plant is the greatest single point source of the greenhouse effect gases in North America, and is one of the 2 visible man-made effects seen by Apollo astronauts. All right, and the new lands in Arizona where the Dene resistors and the people that have signed the accommodation agreement have moved to is the prime site for, once again, the prime site for Dene relocatees. Was purchased by the U.S. government in 1980, and in 1979 the new lands was contaminated by the nation's largest radioactive spill, second only to Chernobyl, and Karamagi left its, I believe, 1.5 million tons of contaminated debris, and that's going to be toxic for 80,000 years. It's 80,000 years of contamination.
Wow.
And I guess we'll be showing a clip of some history of the Dene resistance very shortly, but I'd like to give you a Big Mountain eviction update. Dene's struggle against forced relocation in the 24th year. In 1998, ownership of Peabody Coal Company was transferred to Lehman Brothers Merchant Banking in St. Louis. The United Nations Working Group of Indigenous Human Rights made 2 trips to the area to investigate abuses by the U.S. government. The traditional Dene, or Navajo, enter what may be the last year of their long struggle against the genocidal policies of that U.S. government, of our U.S. government. We have 5 individuals that have received eviction notices. That was on January the 25th, 90-day eviction notices. And at this point, there are 5 elders, grandmothers, traditional elders, that have no intentions of moving whatsoever, and the United States government there are helicopter flights and maneuvers on right above their hogans, and they believe that the U.S. government believes that the Dene resistors are a national security problem. Now, maybe we'd like to go to our film clip.
But we could also probably talk just a little bit more before we go into our film clip about the fact that in the 50s, this was the beginning of the nuclear cycle. This is where it all began. The nuclear cycle began at Big Mountain, where they actually mined the uranium. And today, all of those affects, you know, all of this indigenous land, both the Shoshone land. They have treaty land of the Ruby Valley Treaty of 1863. You know, the government claims like that somehow they have abrogated their rights, but the Shoshone and the Navajo and all of the people still maintain that this is their traditional um, holy, you know, spiritual land, and that this whole nuclear cycle is, you know, corrupting and ruining this for them. And I guess we'll go to the show now.
Long the situation is going on and what the history behind it really entails. But it's what I find interesting is how history sort of tends to repeat itself. The Navajo were removed from their traditional land, basically under a government campaign that was spearheaded by Kit Carson to scorch and burn campaign to kill the Dene sheep, to burn them out of their homes, to force them into submission. That was in around the 1880s, I believe, and they were marched up to Bosque Dondo around Fort Sumner, and were interred, were kept prisoners there, basically, for about 2 years. What's interesting is they were released because in 1868, the United States was involved in its Civil War, and they had brought the Southern Confederacy to court for treatment of the United States Army's prisoners, the way they were being treated at Fort Anderson. And basically they were fearful that people would see that they were doing the same thing to the Navajo, so they released the Navajo, and the Navajo returned back their lands and back to sheep herding, and spread out and eventually encompassed the Hopi. And the Navajo reservation was actually put in place before the Hopi reservation, and the Hopi reservation was created as a way to get to mineral resources, and that was one of the whole thrusts underlying the creation of the Hopi reservation. And as far as the tribal council for the Hopi, one of the things that was instrumental in the 1930s, was John Collier's Indian Reorganization Act, where he went in to create a council government, and that became a puppet government for the government so that they could sign off tracts of land or resources. So it became a tool that the government could use, and it became a key thing in the struggle. The people were hand-picked, and at that time, the people that were hand-picked for the Hopi government were people that were educated off the reservation, that were educated in boarding schools and mission schools, and at that time the primary school was a Mormon school. And one of the families that came out on top as far as political control of the tribal council was the Secaucus family, and they have been in control since the 1930s and have been really fanning the fires of this, because it brought political and economic gain to that family, which is quite large. Prior to that, the government was basically kind of coasting along, not really knowing what was going on out there. But another thing that Boyden did that was pretty significant was he enlisted the aid, per se, of at least an alliance with Morris Udall, who is also Mormon. And a lot of people aren't aware that Morris Udall is Mormon. And between Boyden, Morris Udall, and this other individual, Steiger, they basically began to snowball a lot of people and push this thing through because they all had stuff to gain from it.
Stephen, can you help me out with some of the names here?
Oh, great. We're back. Isn't that wonderful? Well, we we did a switcheroo while we were off, and now I have the pleasure of talking with Butch Turk, a longtime friend. We met at the test site actually, and how long was it that you've been going to Nevada?
I first started going there in 1991, just a few weeks before the Gulf War began.
Wow. And what brought you to go to the nuclear test site?
Well, any number of things. I guess primarily I'm a nurse, and that means I care not just about the patients I treat, but also about the community at large, the world at large, and the degree to which we're poisoning it with nuclear materials. And a main focus of that has been the Nevada test site. As you mentioned earlier, there have been over 1,000 nuclear explosions occur there. That Shoshone land makes the Shoshone Nation the most bombed nation on earth. Worse than Japan, worse than Kosovo, worse than Germany during World War II. And I think it's real important that for people to understand that even though in 1992 we stopped exploding nuclear bombs there, we're actually still testing nuclear weapons there. The United States has signed a comprehensive test ban treaty, but ignoring the spirit of the treaty, they're still testing nuclear weapons there, although not causing actual nuclear explosions. They're taking the explosion right up to the point of going nuclear. And for this reason, a nuclear arms race that should have stopped with the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty is still going on. So I've been going down to the test site for 7, 8 years now, and it's something I wish more of Missoula's viewers would do. It's literally been a training ground for nonviolent civil disobedience in the country for the past 20 years. And maybe we can look at some of the pictures that we brought along up here.
Yeah.
You look, you can just glance around them. Different sites from, or visions from the Nevada test site of the resistance, of the artwork that has occurred down there, of the native people, Shoshone people who have led many, if not all, of the demonstrations down there. Religious community has been very strong in opposing the continued testing of nuclear weapons. During the mid-'80s, there was a lot of concern over the medium-range missiles, and there were demonstrations focused around that. And if we can glance at the center of our board here, just an example of the nuclear radiation hazards in the United States. And we often think of nuclear power plants being far away, or even the test site being away from Montana. So as you see, the whole nation has been nuclearized between production facilities, nuclear power plants, weapons facilities, dump sites, and it's in fact increasing. We are still producing more and more nuclear materials every year and having more and more trouble figuring out what we're going to do about it. I believe later we'll be talking about Yucca Mountain, the nuclear waste dump going in next to the Nevada test site. Many of our viewers might recall that during the heyday of nuclear weapons testing in Nevada, in fact, Montana was quite heavily dosed by radioactive fallout, and the government has still not chosen to do the studies necessary to find out what the impact of that was on Montanans and other citizens of this country.
So I also have 3 other videos which we couldn't actually get up on the board.
Or photographs.
So if you want to sort of see them, I'll just give you a quick look at them. This is pretty interesting. This is a group of folks that I went with down in 1988 to go down to the test site, and this is a really powerful image of the religious aspect of it. A couple of things that are we still producing all sorts of different nuclear materials, but we are also, the GAO just released a report that says now we have spent something like $5.8 trillion on the nuclear arms race. That's, a recent report that's just come out that we learned about. So, there are a number of different reasons, compelling reasons that people should think about going to these actions May 7th through 10th. They're called Mother's Day actions at the nuclear test site. It's also a training ground, I believe, for how we relate to and our perspective of the Shoshone and different indigenous peoples who come to these actions every year. So if we can show the video, we have a video of Corbin Harney. He's the spiritual leader of the Western Shoshone, and this will give you an idea of the Shoshone issue and their idea of the whole nuclear testing program.
As I see it all around me, the trees are dying out, our water is contaminated, and our air is not good to breathe. Those are the reason why today I'm trying my best to come back to our ways from thousands of years ago.
Next, Shoshone medicine man Corbin Harney prescribes ancient remedies for modern ills. Funding for this program has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting through a grant from the Pacific Mountain Network Program Fund and by the Friends of Idaho Public Television.
We have to come back to the native way of life. Native way is to pray for everything. Our Mother Earth is very important. We can't just misuse it and think it's going to continue. We only got one water, one air, one Mother Earth.
In the deserts of Nevada, an ancient ritual takes place, an expression of the Shoshone people's commitment to the Mother Earth. In a nearly forgotten tongue, Shoshone spiritual leader Corbin Harney prays to the spirit world.
All our food, all the living things here have to be prayed to because they're life like we are.
Corbin is one of our strong spiritual leaders. He's very important to the Indians in this area and other areas because of his strong spiritual values.
He's the one that does all the praying. He works, prays to the Creator for everything that's put here on earth, and prays for us, prays with us, asks us to pray, asks us to give an offering. See, our belief that whenever you take something away from Mother Earth, you put something back. He's also one of our doctors, able to heal us of different ailments.
Everything's got a life to it. Those are the things that we talk to as an Indian people. The spirits out there, there's spirits out here all the way around us. Those are the things that we've been told to take care of. We've been told to take care of what you got so you can leave something for the younger generation. We try to practice that from the beginning of our life, but we forgot our way. Those are the reason today our land is drying up. have spoken out. Until lately here, the Spirit coming to me and tell me, well, you're going to have to give us a hand here. It wasn't a vision. Water said to me, I'm going to look like water. Pretty soon there's nobody's going to use me. Now I see that the water has been polluted by something else. Pretty quick we're not going to be able to use it. Some places we're already experiencing that. The water looks sad to me. I need help. That's what the water is saying. As I see it all around me, our water is contaminated. The trees are dying out, and our air is not good to breathe. Those are the reasons why today I'm trying my best to come back to our ways from thousands of years ago. The Indian people are going to have to know those things, because all the people that I talk to tells me, you are the people that's going to have to lead us out of this darkness that we're in. We're going to have to start cleaning up the mist that we're put on this earth. One way we're doing it today, right here in the sweat. We use it for healing. Not only the human race, but everything out there. It's very important for us to learn the native way of what we used to heal ourselves at one time. We didn't have no pills. We didn't have no needles. We rely on what was out here. And that's how we heal for thousands of years. Sweat clears your body. It clears your mind. You pray for each other. When we take any rocks or anything off the Mother Earth, we had to talk to it. I had to tell them the reason why we're bringing them over here. This is where we get together with all the spirits out there. The government came along and said, well, you guys are doing evil things, so they outlawed it. The spirit comes in the sweat lodge, like the buffalo spirit, evil spirit. They come in here in the sweat. Those are the things that I listen to. They telling me what to do. All I am just their interpreter. Long ago, we had to rely on spiritual power. Banzugumba was the name for this. That's Otter Creek, or Otter Water. This is our spiritual ground. For thousands of years, the Indian people have used this. The Shoshone people, as we call them today, they're native of the land. They roam from one end of the country to the other. Same with all the animal life. They go south in the fall. In the spring of the year, they go north. They travel from one end of the country to the other. Into Colorado to get their buffalo. And then they travel back into Idaho. And then they go in there water salmon. They know the land. They understand the land, where the water is, where a certain kind of food is. This is a medicine canyon, it's a medicine rock, medicine water. And those are the reason why the people roam through here and they stop here to get doctored. The rock works with the spirit of an eagle. Medicine people put you up there, and then it takes the spirit to take over, to heal you from your sickness. When you come off of that eagle rock, they put you down here in this water. Sometimes the spirit will tell you to dip yourself in here early in the morning before sunrise. That when you go away from here, you're feeling good. You leave your sickness here. Those are the reason why our people have always came into this part of the country here to heal their sick. And also this is where most of our people have been buried. Most of the native people from this area. Spiritual people know this country is very strong for healing power. There's a buffalo spirit in here. There's a bear spirit in here. There's two humans watching the water. That's what the old people used to say. That's what the Indian people have prayed to and kept their spirit alive for thousands of years. They make some eagles, make frogs, either in the woods. They make noise that they have in their head. Now watching them in my wood. No man be at the Zion, no man be at the hand, no him in the house and look at hand. I'm hoping to keep the spirit life alive here, to keep it so they can continue to heal our people. The Bunzawumba Canyon here is very important to the Shoshone people. Eunice, she's at 100 right now. She's been doing her healing people for ever since she was very small. Her mother got her power from right here and passed it on to her. And she's really proud of this canyon. She always talks about this because her mother is buried here somewhere. There's a threat to this canyon here because the white man wants to build a dam over our burial sites.
And then my mother's mother and her grandma, they buried around on that side. And then the white people want to dig out them. Why? That's what I said to why they gonna do like that.
They shouldn't be doing this to our ancestors because they were here to rest. This is their resting area. It should never be disturbed. It's very important to the Indian people, this canyon here, Spagaluba Canyon, because our burial site here, this is our spiritual ground for thousands of years. This is where we, the people, put our spirit, our power, our prayers. If we all pray alike throughout the world, we would have a beautiful world, we would have peace. But we don't have peace because the evil's always overtaken the good.
4, 3, 2, 1. 0 time.
What is it doing within our Mother Earth when that power explodes down here thousands of feet down? What is it doing to our water table down below? When the spring comes out on the mountain, what does it do? Some of these days, those springs are not going to be pure anymore because the water already told me that. I'm going to look like water, and nobody's going to use me.
Alrighty. We'll get you to pull them out. Yeah, this permit here is to allow you guys to come onto the land with us and just show the government that they don't have rights here. According to the Treaty of 1863, this land was all ours. The people out there that's doing all this damage, they don't have a permit. They never had permission. And we feel that it's the wrong thing what they're doing out there. It doesn't go according to our beliefs and our religion.
I'm glad all your people are here. My concern as a spiritual leader for the Shoshone Nation, we got a treaty right here. The government made those promises. This land belongs to the Western Shoshone. Seemed to me they wanted to destroy this Mother Earth. All the living things on this Mother Earth is alive like we are. The stones are alive. Everything's alive here. But the nuclear testing is killing the spirit within the Mother Earth. Let's put a stop to nuclear testing throughout the world. So that way we have cleaner life and cleaner air, cleaner water.
Okay, well, we just finished there with shots of demonstrations at the Nevada test site, demonstrations Rick and I both participated in. Just adjacent to the Nevada test site is a sacred mountain called Yucca Mountain, still on Shoshone land. And this is now the designated site for all of the nation's nuclear power plant high-level nuclear waste. It's scheduled to open up, I think, about the year 2010, 2012. And this will not only be a disaster to the people of Nevada and the people surrounding Yucca Mountain with their problems with water tables and fault lines, but also for people across the country as all this high-level waste, which is relatively safe sitting where it is, comes out upon our highways and our rail lines and crosses the country through major metropolitan areas, through farmlands, so forth. We've got a couple of videos on Yucca Mountain. This first one we're going to see is one produced by CNN, and so it'll give you a little bit of background on the issues involved at the Yucca Mountain waste site. And if we're ready, we'll switch to that video. Well, I guess we're not quite ready yet.
Yeah, but there it is.
And here we go.
The following is a presentation of CNN Business News. Good evening. Most of humanity's problems are, in the scope of history, fleeting. We can, with goodwill and hard work, see their end 2, perhaps 3 generations down the road. That is not the case, however, with nuclear waste. The pile of poisonous garbage from our power and weapons reactors will be with us thousands of years, threatening all. The American nuclear industries, nearly 300,000, generate thousands of tons of nuclear waste per year. But science has yet to learn how to dispose of potentially radioactive rubble with it. In tonight's special report, The Threat of Nuclear Waste, Senior Business News correspondent Steve Young reports.
This desolate test range 110 miles northwest of Las Vegas could become the final refuge of the nation's most dangerous nuclear waste. The government wants to build a permanent repository at Yucca Mountain, a nuclear graveyard not far from the atomic bomb's crater. This is Nuclear Dawn, July 16, 1945, about 50 miles from Alamogordo, New Mexico. The weapon was called Trinity. The test was triggered at 5:29 a.m. and 45 seconds Mountain War Time.
The tower was vaporized by the world's first atomic bomb. This is all that remains from that historic blast nearly 46 years ago. Then the nation was united against a common foe. Now it is split by fear of the weapons and nuclear power industry's legacy, the lethal and increasing amount of radioactive waste.
Nuclear fuel is millions of times more radioactive when it comes out of a power reactor than when it goes in. It's called high-level nuclear waste. In addition to generating electricity, nuclear fuel is used in defense reactors to make plutonium for weapons plants. Just 1/35 billionth of an ounce of plutonium causes fatal cancer if it gets inside your lungs. There'll be 100,000 tons of high-level nuclear waste or more by the turn of the century. The hazard isn't weight or volume, but the sizzling radioactivity. From the earliest days, most experts said the safest place to put nuclear waste was deep within the earth.
I've often asked myself that question. Why did we not proceed with the waste disposal program with the same vigor that we did building nuclear power plants?
But the path to a permanent nuclear repository has been littered with technical problems.
The proponents of nuclear power keep saying the disposal of waste is a political problem, it's not a technical problem. They've said that so much that it's become almost like a mantra.
Another big obstacle is a flood tide of distrust caused by past nuclear problems and government cover-ups. At the government's Hanford, Washington weapons facility, workers dumped at least 120 million gallons of liquid nuclear waste on the ground for 20 years until 1966. Some people don't believe it when the government says a nuclear dump can be safe because of the government's long history of downplaying nuclear dangers.
The atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. That's the first thing to do.
There has been this unfortunate tendency to cover up damaging information that people need to know, number one, if they're going to protect their own health and safety, and number two, if they're going to have any confidence in the agency that runs this program.
But even if the Energy Department can overcome the psychological and scientific problems, a repository at Yucca Mountain would be ready no sooner than 2010. And it would be too small for all the waste then waiting for a decent burial. The Department of Energy tried in vain in the 1980s to find 2 towns from a list of 20 willing to let the government build nuclear waste burial vaults, one in the east and one in the west. But everywhere, the DOE was greeted like the Grim Reaper.
DOE, you are invited to come back to bury your waste in Minnesota, but you will have the damnedest fight you ever had in your life. Am I right?
Faced with the firestorm, the DOE shortened its list of nearly 2 dozen sites to just 3: Hanford, Washington, Deb Smith County, Texas, and Yucca Mountain, Nevada. Finally, in 1987, a House-Senate conference committee reached a nuclear waste compromise.
Some of the congressmen at this conference committee said, look, we all know what we want. We want to stick it in Nevada, keep it away from Texas, keep it away from Washington State.
Energy Department officials hope 70,000 tons of the most lethal atomic leftovers
can be safely stored deep within the mountain for 10,000 years. Putting that in perspective, 10,000 years ago, man was just learning to use stone tools. Many scientists think within the next 10,000 years, there'll be an ice age. Sticking the pin in Nevada must have looked like a sure political bet. The state has just 4 electoral votes. But the powers in the capital, Carson City, have been fighting back in court to block Washington at every turn, calling the Yucca Mountain site perilous, refusing to issue environmental permits. Now Congress is trying to eliminate Nevada's right to derail the decision to evaluate Yucca Mountain for use as the nation's nuclear waste dump. The Secretary of Energy says the state is conducting a scorched earth policy. Nevada shrugs off the attack.
If the Congress would rethink this process and go back to the pre-Screw Nevada 1987 legislation and set up a process that appears on its face to be fair and equitable, certainly we would rethink our position.
Well, it's not a case of seal it up and hope that in fact you had it right. But there's a really significant period of time of continued verification and testing as to whether or not the decision is valid.
But that's not what happened at a now closed nuclear fuel recycling plant at West Valley, New York. Deadly fuel rods were buried less than 60 feet down. 22 years later, they're still there. Finding a permanent site for high-level waste is so controversial, a new job has been created to tackle the task of dealing with states, territories, even Indian tribes. Chief U.S. Nuclear Waste Negotiator.
I'm hopeful that we'll find a governor not that says yes, but a governor that says maybe, a governor who says, yes, I will permit a dialogue in my state, which will lead us to a yes or no decision. But remember, this is purely voluntary. There's no penalty for opting out. They can opt out at any time.
Leroy has yet to start formal negotiations. Serious nuclear waste talks begin next October. Soon after, the waste negotiator could be coming to your state. When the Energy Department began working at WIPP, the Waste Isolation Project in New Mexico, Gerald Ford was president. WIPP was scheduled to open under President Reagan. Well into George Bush's presidency, they still haven't cut the ribbon because technical problems keep cropping up. WIPP is supposed to warehouse dangerous Defense Department nuclear waste, mainly plutonium-contaminated gloves, tools, and protective clothing. But scientific controversies have prolonged the site studies here and at Yucca Mountain, Nevada, which might take the most radioactive waste. We're on our way 2,100 feet underground to a series of vast rooms made by mining salt in a remote region of New Mexico near Carlsbad. The government hopes to store some of its nuclear waste here. Hopes to, but isn't sure, because after spending between $700 million and $1 billion, questions are still being asked about whether the site is suitable. A salt vein was chosen for the WIPP site because salt occurs in geologically stable areas. But critics fear minute amounts of water in the salt could reach the waste and carry it into the environment. Defense nuclear waste would come here in $300,000 casks.
It's literally a vault within a vault, surrounded by 10 inches of styrofoam, and then an outer stainless steel skin.
To collect the waste from around the nation and bring it here will require 25,000 separate truckloads. Environmentalists fear transportation disasters on the country's aging roads. The Energy Department says its tests prove the casks would survive any accident imaginable. But the first to respond would be local fire, police units, and emergency teams, and there are fears they wouldn't know how to handle nuclear waste. The radioactive garbage presently earmarked for Yucca Mountain is even more dangerous than what would go to the WIPP plant in New Mexico. Transporting the waste fuel rods from power reactors and weapons plants to Yucca Mountain would require 1,300 shipments a year for 2 decades or more. But the Energy Department says, on balance, it likes the location because it would minimize storage concerns.
It's one of the driest areas in the country. 2, it's very remote. 3, we think we found a block of rock that's been relatively stable for the last 2 million years. Therefore, we predict it can be stable for the next 10,000 years.
Moreover, at Yucca Mountain, the water table is very deep and the waste would be stored high above it, lessening chances water could carry radioactive material into the environment. But some scientists and Nevada state officials have deep misgivings. Misgiving number one, from atop Yucca Mountain, 7 extinct volcanoes dot the landscape. Misgiving number two, a wild card in an exploration trench. Disputed evidence that the water table once may have been much higher.
Well, there have been a series of studies on this trench, and the isotope information that's been gathered supports this being deposited by rainwater.
That's the official stand. But if one of the Energy Department's senior Yucca Mountain geologists is right, there could be a catastrophe. The geologist says the exposed stone shows water pushed up from below. That's called upwelling. If it happened once, it could happen again, pushing lethal waste into the outside world. Nevada state officials have other concerns. Yucca Mountain is believed to contain valuable minerals, including oil. Nevada officials say that might tempt future generations to tear the repository apart. The Energy Department already knows a lot from monitoring stations and 300 holes and trenches. But a thorough examination would require many more drill holes, mine shafts, and seismic soundings, and would take at least until the year 2001 to complete. It would cost close to $4 billion. No other site is being investigated. If Yucca Mountain fails that examination 10 years from now, or Nevada officials successfully block the site, the search for a nuclear waste repository would have to start from.
Hey! Now, if that wasn't enough of a look at what is going on with the nuclear waste stuff, we're going to look at what some of the local Nevada youth, they did their own show on what this nuclear waste is going to do to their state and the issues around it. So, without further ado, let's go into and have a look at what the kids of Nevada had to say about nuclear waste and storage in the transportation.
Has been really active for a long period of time. The most recent activity, at least in this area, are these 3 cones right here that are 1 million years old. But there's even a younger volcano. When you drive up from Lake of Wells, you can erupted only 6,000 years ago. If you consider that the Earth has been in existence for 4.5 billion years, 1 million years is a very, very short period of time. And, for example, a volcano erupting 6,000 years ago, for geologists, that's yesterday. Well, Yucca Mountain is just right over there on the other side of this volcano. And having volcanoes around here means that we may have future eruptions. If the casts are disrupted, then it could distribute nuclear waste into the atmosphere. More likely what will happen is the casts will remain intact, but you'll have casts lying either on the flanks of the volcano or on the lava flows. There are many other places where these dangers are not present. So as a geologist, my own opinion is this is one of the worst places in the western United States to put a repository.
The most likely way that radioactive waste from a repository could reach the human environment is through the groundwater. The repository at Yucca Mountain would be several hundred feet above the water table. There's scientific evidence that the water table around Yucca Mountain has changed several times. In the future, if a wetter climate made the water table rise up into the repository, that could also release radioactive waste into the groundwater.
The problem is you need a place that's totally stable to hold the radioactive material, not some place that's going to do a little shaking or a little boiling.
The DOE is supposed to be studying these site safety issues too. But retired Air Force Brigadier General Joel T. Hall, a contractor working for the DOE, said this about the DOE's approach to studying the site. What is happening here is the development of tailored data files, computer models, and analysis to support and validate the selected conclusion that Yucca Mountain is suitable. There has been no objective evaluation of this mountain. This is an analytical scam. This project is the worst federal program I have ever seen or heard of.
So who is the DOE? And can we believe everything they say? Let's take a look at their track record.
So here's a little instructional video the DOE did back in the 1950s.
Sundays, holidays, vacation time. We must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. This family knows what to do, just as your own family should. They know that even a thin cloth helps protect them. The bomb might explode when there are no grown-ups near. Paul and Patty know this, but no matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover. Paul and Patty know what to do.
More recently, a committee of the U.S. Senate, the U.S. General Accounting Office, and the investigative arm of Congress has documented radioactive and hazardous waste contamination of soil, groundwater, and air at nuclear facilities managed by the DOE. There were 127 facilities studied. 124 of them showed contamination.
That record is abysmal. Look that word up.
Other DOE highlights.
You'll remember that early in 1994, there were all these news reports about how the government had been conducting secret experiments on unsuspecting Americans over the years. This was also the DOE.
About 70% of adults in Nevada are against the Yucca Mountain project. So, the DOE now spends millions in Nevada schools every year convincing us students that Yucca Mountain is the right site.
So ask, can we believe everything the DOE says?
Let's recap. First, 10,000 years.
Second, Nevada got shafted.
Third, the transportation issues. Fourth, earthquakes and volcanoes.
Fifth, the water and the environment.
And finally, the track record of the DOE.
One last big thing. If the DOE is allowed to build Yucca Mountain, they're going to come here in Nevada, dump their waste, put up some markers, and walk away from the site.
Leaving without guards, site workers, or anyone to tell future generations of the danger for the next 10,000 years.
Out of sight, out of their mind.
My name is Ian Zabarchi. I'm a Western Shoshone Indian. How many have heard of a Shoshone Indian before? Okay, most of you.
Well, we've always been taught that the Creator put us in this particular area for a reason, and that reason is to take care of this land. This is where our responsibility lies. I think what's particularly interesting in this situation is that we have a treaty with the United States. This treaty was entered into by the Shoshone and the United States in 1863, prior to the creation of the state of Nevada. This says this is Shoshone country. Does not allow for high-level nuclear waste to be put at Yucca Mountain. And besides being Western Shoshone law, this is also United States law. What I'm doing here is trying to protect future generations' rights. We're borrowing this land, we're mortgaging this land by our activities today from them. And what I want to do is make sure that they have the same opportunities and more than that we have.
So, what does make sense? First, slow down the rush. Even nuclear power plant officials know that waste can be stored where it is generated until it cools. We're only talking 100 years or so.
That would make transport much less risky. And who knows what technology will be invented in the next century. That allows time to discover answers.
And that allows time for the DOE to improve their record and clean up any existing waste sites that are contaminated.
And it gives us time to keep asking questions, to make sure we're getting the whole story. You have to show both sides and then let the people decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong.
I always think most of the time that, oh, I'm just a teenager, nobody will ever listen to me. But if you have enough people and enough support and a strong enough voice, you can.
Well, I would tell them they should care, because if they decide to live here, it's going to be their future. And if they want to have a safe one, they better do something about it.
I think it's our responsibility as students and as young people to speak up, write your congressman, get involved, and try to get this thing out of the state of Nevada, because it's not for Nevada.
I would ask that they pay attention and don't just forget about it. Make sure that they educate themselves and they know what's going on in the place where they live and places where other people live. Just don't ignore it, 'cause it's not going to go away.
So you've heard the questions. Make sure you ask them. Speak up. Shout if you have to.
Just don't let them steamroll over us. Nevada's better than that. We're talking about our future, and our kids, and their kids.
And their kids, and their kids, and their kids. For 100 centuries.
Think about it.
Then do something.
I want to thank you for watching our program today. If you'd like more information on the issues we've discussed, or might even like to join us at the Nevada Test Site May 7th through the 10th, you can contact us at the number that's about to appear on our screen. I especially want to thank Philomena and Rick for their efforts in this presentation today, and our wonderful studio crew.
Ann and Robin and MCAT and all the others. We're also going to have a yard sale on May 1st, and that's going to be happening, I guess, this weekend, May 1st, May 2nd. And so we'll be collecting various stuff, food, camping gear, a camera, and possibly even a laptop computer to take with us on our little voyage down to the test site. So please give us a call if you can help us.